Better Builders. We carry a few different brands of product, and each of these brands says they have technology that makes their deck board cooler. They have Cool Deck technology, Cool and Touch, 30 degrees cooler, our coolest decking yet, heat resistance decking. So today we're at Deck Central. They let us take all their samples down and we're gonna put them to the test. So we have all the products laid out on pallets. We didn't want the decking sitting on the concrete to create conductive energy transfer and heat transfer up. So everything's laying up, allows airflow under like it would be on a normal deck. To test our temperatures, we're going to use a Milwaukee infrared thermometer, and we're also going to check a core temperature every once in a while using this Klein thermometer. So we'll keep you posted as the day goes on. So for a quick comparison between composite and PVC, we'll just use TimberTech Legacy Espresso and compare it to the AZEK Vintage Dark Hickory just to get a PVC composite comparison that's equal in color. So right now the Espresso is reading 124.2 degrees and the Dark Hickory is 125.4 degrees. The interesting part is this morning the PVC was about 15 degrees warmer than the composite, which just goes to show that PVC being a less dense product heated up quite a bit faster, but now these temperatures are really equalizing and we're only about 6 hours in, so hopefully in another 4 hours I think we're going to continue to see that trend where that heavy dense composite board is going to keep heating up a little bit more than the PVC that's less dense. So real quick, I'm going to give you a comparison on each of the lines. They're dark to light color. So we'll start with TimberTech Reserve, 128.1, 121.5. Legacy, 129, 110.3. Vintage, 131, 125. Voyage, 139, 127. Signature, 127, 130.1. Lineage, 120, 114. Transcend, 134, 129. Enhance, 127, 125. Moisture Shield, 116, 108, and then an ePay, 122. So this morning while we're setting up, we decided to put out some railing as well, just to give people an idea. We do get the question every once in a while, what color of railing stays cooler so I can lean on it? So we're just going to show you composite wise. White is showing 85 degrees, brown 118, and then on the aluminum side, black 99, bronze 100.6, and white 80.8 degrees. So pretty drastic difference there between your dark and light colors of railing. So one of the biggest things that we've been finding out today as we've been doing our tests is the biggest difference is the color of the product. So if we compare Legacy, we are 129 degrees in the Espresso, and in the whitewash cedar 110 degrees. And that's been pretty consistent amongst all the brands, where the light and the darks are going to have that 10 to 15 degree difference in surface temperature. So we're about 6 hours into our experiment. We set up at 7 a.m. this morning to give everything time to heat up and acclimate to the outside temperature. I'm going to give you a quick recap of these. Currently 85 degrees, 91% humidity. I'm starting to glisten. Reserve, their lightest color is showing 122. Legacy, 112. Vintage, 128. Costa, 128. Signature, 127. Lineage, 114. Transcend Rope Swing, 125. Enhance Rocky Harbor, 129. Everlast, 131. Moisture Shield, 112. And then ePay, 124 degrees. There you have it, 6 hours in. So we started doing some of our core temperature readings. In the espresso, we're getting 127 degrees, while the surface temperature is 133, core is 127. Right now, the weather teak is reading 120.5 with a surface temperature of 129 degrees. So you're seeing a little bit of a difference there. All right, so it's 8:30 right now, 82 degrees outside. Sunset went down about 35 minutes ago. We're out here checking temperatures. During the peak hours today, around 2 or 3, during the high, we were about 130 to 140, pretty much across the board. As we've been checking them tonight, they're all between 78 and 80 degrees, and it doesn't really matter which brand, which has been interesting. The one differential is that the composites are running a core temperature of about 5 degrees more than the PVCs, but that's kind of to be expected with the density. But I'll just show you a couple of these: 78 degrees, Decorators, 77, Trex, 79, and 79 on the treated. So they're all about the same as soon as the sun goes down. So the results are in from our heat surface temperature testing. What we found out was it didn't really matter what brand, what the composition of the board was. It all came down to the color of the board. The lighter the color, the better it performed. So in each of the lines, the lightest colors performed 10 to 15 degrees cooler than the darkest color in the same line. Your winners would be Trex, Lineage, Carmel, Azek, Vintage, Weather Teak, Everlast, Apex Gray Slate, and the coolest temperature that we had on all the decking was TimberTech Legacy's Whitewash Cedar. So again, it didn't matter composition, brand, it all came down to the color of the board.